Hello there everyone, Mr. E here, and today I'm a bit of a conspiracy theorist researcher. I've been doing my own research, you might say. And what I found might shock you, but it very likely won't, because this is, Darktide and all. It's kind of a buggy game. What I've been researching is something that people in my YouTube comments and my chat for my streams. Oh, by the way, I stream Tuesdays, Fridays, and Saturdays at 6 p.m. Eastern. Come check them out sometimes. And what they've been saying is that, Mr. E, I've been watching your videos, and you actually have a Curio. You actually have a 400 item level plus 3 max stamina Curio right here. And you had it on some of your builds. And this actually doesn't work. You're actually not getting the full stamina out of it. You're not getting plus 3. It's only plus 2. And so I said, well, that's very interesting. I should check that out. And so then I promptly forgot about it. And about a week went by. And someone mentioned it again, and I said, you know what, let me, right after this game, I will go and check that out. And so then I forgot about it again. And then finally today, when I was making a build, not this build, so don't get your hopes up, but I was making a build, and this showed up in my inventory. It was on one of my builds. And I said, you know what, I'm checking it out right here and now while my ADHD brain allows me. So here we are to check it out. So how are we going to test this? Well, we go into the Psychanium, obviously. You put on the 400 item level Curio, and you throw up your dukes, okay? So there you can see I have 9 bars of stamina, and this would be really easily debunked and put to bed if I scroll up here and go to this 420, nice item level stamina here, and I throw up my block, and it should be 10, but it's still 9. So debunked, right? Thanks for watching, guys. Like and subscribe. Put this one to bed. Dusting off my hands. See you in the next video. Unfortunately, no, that's not where it ends. Well, maybe you want to see where this goes. So I said, how am I going to find out the truth about this? Well, I went where any enterprising sleuth goes, and I went to Reddit. They are famed for solving many mysteries of our time, just like the Boston bombing and all that stuff. So I went to Reddit, and I saw the thread where they're discussing this, and someone said this only happens in game. So I said, okay, well, I'll fucking go in a game then, Jesus. And I typed /solo and I went into a game and I loaded on up, and guess what? Same exact results. And so I said, aha, it's debunked for real now this time. And then I loaded into a game, like an actual quick play game to record for a different video. And I had a different stamina value. I only had 8 bars of stamina as opposed to 9. So I guess not debunked, right? You can see here in this clip that I recorded, this is where I have the 400 item level on, and I actually only have 8 bars, and this is not just a visual glitch. I'm using an auto clicker, and I'm shoving as fast as possible, and I can shove 5 times, and then there's a small gap while I have to recharge my stamina, and then I can shove a 6th time. But if I swap to the 420 item level one, as you can see in this footage, I can shove 6 times uninterrupted. So there actually is a material difference in these items in game. And so I guess it's true, right? So make certain, if you're watching this far, make certain that your Curios, your stamina Curios, have at least 410 on them if they're plus 3 staminas, because 420 doesn't cut it. It changes in game. So that got me thinking, what is going on here? I had some inklings about what might be going on, because I know that Darktide rounds all of its numbers. And what's going on really is that when we have a Curio like this, a 420 stamina Curio, it's got the number 3 on there, but that's an integer. It's hiding all the decimals. It's truncated them and it's discarded them. So those plus 3 stamina Curios that are 420 and 410, they're like 3.07 and 3.02 or whatever. They're over 3. And so the game, when you go into the actual game, it chops those numbers off and says, you know, you can't have 0.1 stamina. That doesn't make any fucking sense. So just take 3. There you go. And when you're in the Morningstar like this, it wants the numbers to be all nice and pretty. So when things are close enough to 3, it'll round them up. So in the case of the 400, mythical 400 item level Curio here, it's rounding it up to 3. It's like 2.995 or something really close, and it rounds it up to 3. But the in-game calculations, the actual one that's going on when you're in quick play, doesn't play by those same rules for whatever reason. It plays by different rules than the Psychanium and solo play and all that stuff does. It plays by a rule that says, hey, I'm not fucking rounding up for shit. If this doesn't say 3 on the decimals, then I'm truncating it off and I'm rounding it down. So it drops it all the way down to 2 because this actually isn't quite 3. So that's what's probably going on behind the scenes. I don't have access to the source code yet, but that is what I have to imagine. Now, this got me thinking about something else that is a very similar topic, and that's if this sort of thing can occur on weapons as well. And so you'll see here, I have a Purgation Flamer, right? This Purgation Flamer has the normal stat distribution. You have 380 points divided by into 5 things here, and one of them always is going to be missing 20 points, so it's at 60 mobility. However, you can get what I am calling Omnissiah Blessed weapons that happen to have 61 in that low stat. Now, why does this happen? Well, as you said before, there are decimals hidden behind all these numbers. And generally, thanks to the law of averages, these randomly generated decimals, they are randomly distributed. So like there'll be like 0.2 on each of these numbers, and that's not enough to round up. But in a very, very small percentage of cases, all of those decimals happen to land on the one stat that isn't maxed out. This cannot happen to stats that are already 80 because 80 is the cap. It's basically the 100% of this game. Who knows why? But if it lands on something that's lower, then it can actually bump it up by one whole number. And so I said, well, this probably just like the 3.2 stamina curio or the 2.95 stamina curio. When you go into the game, it probably looks at it and goes, you know what? That's over the threshold. Truncate and round down. And so I went in there expecting to see nothing and tested it out. Well, let's just test it out right here. I've got my regular Purgation Flamer. It's got 60 mobility and I can sprint around with it. You can see in the top right corner there, my speed is 5.57 while full sprinting. And then what we would expect to see is that when we swap to this one, 61 mobility, if this is actual real mobility, then I will be faster than that. So I'm 0.01 movement speed faster with this flamer. So these are real stats, and trust me, I went into the actual game, like an actual quick play game, and this holds. And this extends to every other stat as well, because I also have the same thing going on with these two auto guns. You can see here the Vrax Mark V. Check out the ammo counter right below the gun picture up here, 560 and 561. So you can gain one whole bullet, guys, with an extra ammo roll. Now, I have not been able to get this to roll. I was really trying to roll this on a rumbler to get like, well, I guess it wouldn't matter on a rumbler because you're already maxing out ammo anyway. But like I've been trying to roll this on something where like that dump stat isn't the most dumpy of dump stats, and you kind of actually want that to be a little bit higher. But this means that if you think you have perfectly rolled weapons, chances are you don't, guys. Chances are you need to roll for this extra 1%, which is crazy because I could have sworn that I saw Fat Shark making a patch or like a community notes or something saying that like this is actually just a visual glitch. Don't worry, all the weapons actually have the normal 380 stats. And the problem is that this occurs in a negative way as well. You can actually have a situation where these stats are so like all the other stats will be 80 and then you'll have a 59, or one of the stats will only go to 79 and everything will also be maxed out, right? You can be missing 1% of stats. I could not find any weapons in my arsenal that had that, and I rolled a lot and wasn't getting it. So I'm going to assume that actually does negatively impact your stats. I mean, it's super marginal, but hey, like 1% is 1%. And if you are a commenter or a viewer of this video who happens to have one of those and can verify whether or not that actually does negatively impact the stats of the weapons, I'd be really curious to hear about that in the comments. Anyway, guys, I just thought that I'd drop this bit of knowledge off with you. takeaways here: if you have 400 level stamina curios, go and swap those out for 410s or 420s. Make certain that you get your maximum stamina actually up in the game. And then, yeah, go roll all of your money and try to get 61% in your dump stats for your weapons. And I don't know, I thought this was interesting. Let me know down in the comments so if you got any other conspiracy theories about Darktide I should research next. And I'll see you real soon. Bye.